Hello and welcome to the Aaron Resource Podcast. Today, or this evening, but could be any time of the day where you are, because we live on a rock. Some timelines, and obviously, if this is your first episode, my name's Aaron Resource. I'm a veteran. Which I never thought I'd be saying. I don't feel like that old, but a veteran numerologist, trained under Mark Gruner, the numbers science guy from Harvard. 34 years ago, we started this journey. Along the way, I've had a couple of illnesses with incurable diseases, one for 20 years, one for 10 years. Both of them I was able to overcome by using something that is not part of the present medical system in Australia or the world, because I did scour the earth and spent a lot of money to try and heal myself. Also, many specialists all around the world couldn't do it. The reason why is because there are a couple of things that obviously were able to be fixed if we looked at ourselves holistically. What I mean by that is we are a body, a mind and a soul, but the physical here on earth, at the level of development we are at the moment, we're only allowed to discuss the physical. A little bit of mental with psychology and stuff, but the way they compartmentalize that and box it up into psychology isn't a true indication from what I have found. And when you go holistically, it throws the whole psychology in the bin. So we don't understand. We do, but not, I guess, developed collectively to a point where we deeply understand what our thoughts and mental frequencies do and how they affect our everyday lives. Same with the soul. There's definitely that's probably the least understood part of ourselves, and yet we have access to everything on the earth with many different people, or say yogis being around for hundreds of years, who can give us a piece of the puzzle, and all these pieces can be tested, right? You can live in the now, have your traditional, medicine if you're sick now and this, and you can try side by side while you're doing it some other alternative methods, or mindfulness, or earthing and bits and pieces, right? It's they don't all go against each other. We're holistic, beings. So I guess when it comes down to me, I had a very good understanding of holistic from a very early age, because when I was a teenager and I met Mark Gruner, he said to me one day, look, I'll do your numerology reading. He goes, and tell me about this and that, and he goes, but look, obviously there's a few things that can affect that character. He's given me a character analysis, right? And it's very, very definite characteristics. And as a teenager, he said, look, you probably haven't grown into a lot of these yet. There's your energy and numbers and stuff like that. And look, after 30 years of studying it, I'm still learning every day. But the really interesting thing was, he said, look, there's a few things that can affect that. And I'm like, what? He goes, so something can change my character, or who I am, or how I operate. And he goes, yeah, it's like there's two things: human conditioning, because you might live with a pack of animals that all do one thing. Biologically, you align through your senses with that pack. So he's like, human conditioning, from parents, teachers, peers, what we see, what we just, it affects us a lot more than we realise. And sometimes we can go further down the track and go, hang on, how come I don't feel like me? This is not me. And it's because you've you've just gone a little bit far away from that identity. He said the other thing you've got is free will. You can do whatever you want. I can tell you you're the most reserved person in the world, but you can come out tomorrow and be a comedian on stage, being the biggest extrovert you've ever seen in your life. You have the choice. You can change it with your intent and your belief and a direction. Okay? Belief is very important. I've documented that quite heavily throughout my books and my podcast. I'm not going to get into it. The direction part at the end, I am going to get into. Because he said if you take off in a direction with a foundation and with a filter, it's impossible not to hit that target. And it's true. I've even heard different interpretations of that very mechanism recently, even by Dana White, the guy that was from bought the UFC. He said, mate, you can do anything you want these days. You wake up and go, I want to own the UFC, make it the biggest fucking thing in the world. You wake up every day and everything's a filter. Is that going to get me closer to that? No, don't do it. Yes, do it. And just keep forging, and it's like a stop, start, continue. You stop doing what's not working for you, start to try some new things to throw in the fold, and whatever's working, just keep doing it. Okay, stop, start, continue. It's a corporate thing for strategic growth and planning and stuff like that. But what you can do is you can do that with your life and use a filter and go, I want to be a Hollywood actress. And now if you wake up, this is the duality of life, right? If you wake up every day of the rest of your life and use filters towards that direction, you have to get there. That's the way the world works. Do you know, when I've doing numerology readings, I've done 5,500 plus. I stopped counting a while ago. I got to a good number and I thought, I remember what I used to say, 1,000, 3,000, 5,500. Woohoo! So it's funny, one of the things is I say to people that are sitting in front of me, I will do their character and I'll be like, wow, you have got so much determination. This is a common thing, right? You get obviously certain percentages of people are a one life path, certain this and that, but you get higher percentages of certain things. And this is to do with the energy numbers and it's a character and a determination of a person. And there's a huge percentage of people, maybe over 60%, that have, because of the numbers of the 1990s, you've got that 9 junction, which then is the line of determination. And obviously they've all got a 1. And chances are, hopefully, in your date of birth, there's a 5, but it's heavily weighted either way without the 5, and that's your line of determination. In a Pythagorean numerology natal chart, where you break up someone's date of birth to reveal natural skills, talents and abilities through the energy and numbers, and then the things to overcome and karmic lessons and things to areas to grow in this incarnation, all come from the numbers that aren't in this chart. And it goes, you've broken down into your mind, soul and emotion, physical, material, thought, will, action, compassion and determination. And so I'm sitting down in front of people and I'm going, you know what? You are so determined, but you so don't know what you want. And it's a common thing, like 60% plus of the people in the over 5,000 numerology readings are sitting in front of me. I say this to, and it ends up sparking a huge conversation about the topic. We all have this huge power, energy that we can pull on in a reserve somewhere when we know that we really, 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 really want to do something. But where we sit right now in that survival mode between that and trying to be selfish and get a little bit of time for myself, or trying to even, it's just not nice. Very hard to even understand that is a possibility. So we all have we all hold the ultimate, the end choice. Unfortunately, culture has had us farming that choice out to others. Everything within community, society has us externally, and it's part of the economic system as well. You can't do everything yourself. In the old days, we used to do a lot more ourselves, right? It was you didn't, and now as the economic system has to deliver continual profits year in, year out, everything grows. And where we might have done something, years ago, we probably even serviced our own cars at home. My grandfather still did. Now that job, and then some people are now born and they don't even know that they can't even get their head around the possibility that they could actually just get the right equipment and service their own car at home, and learn some basic mechanical skills. So what I'm saying is, there's a lot going on, and and then to actually ask you to think about what's best for you, what's possible for you. You haven't got time to develop it, or to think about it, or to even logically look at something. Even me, when I was at the height of my success in my corporate job, getting awards, Function Event Caterer of the Year, international awards for workforce development strategy, with Indigenous people, just really world class, hitting my straps, fucking world, leader in my field. But I still went home and my life was a mess. I had no balance. I was unhealthy. I was inflamed. I was using coping mechanism. I was using avoidance. I was using substance. So you find that you have to be in balance across everything is not what you seem. And I guess at the end of the day, I'm sitting here on a podcast telling you about the intricate ins and outs of your life, which you don't even know yet. Do you know what I mean? My whole life has not been exactly like yours. I never paid attention. I never did anything at school, so therefore I haven't even been part of that sort of existence. But I've always, from a very early age, been interested in why we're here and how it all works. And when I was 5, I buried a time capsule. Now, where would that come from? Why would I have a time capsule with, Aussie Scanlan's AFL football cards, or might have even been VFL back then? It was VFL football cards, chewing gum, fire engine truck, or Tonka toys. Why would I go to a really big, giant tree near my house, but in a place like a giant fucking tree, though it wasn't going to come out. It was on the side of a main road. and bury a time machine for someone to take out at a photo. Where did that come from? Did I see it in a movie? Is it dreaming? Is it... Oh, sorry, dreaming is more of an indigenous word. Is it ancestral? Is it sort of in my DNA? Is it from past lives, or a remembrance of something, or like the whole, as a young person, looking back what was happening and what I remember. I don't know if that's normal, but if that was normal, and so there's a real need to tell my own story, to understand how many answers I did get for humanity, for you. Why did I get so many unknown, hidden parts of you, and understand it, and you didn't? Why have you been so distracted, so busy trying to survive, that you haven't had the time to work on personal development for yourself? I, from the age of 10, made a commitment to finding out the inner workings of why we're here, how it all works. And it probably was sparked from that early age, from something, and something was, age of 5, doing a time capsule, even maybe 6 or 7 years of age. What do you call it? Where you go astral traveling in your dreams, right? And go flying around your neighborhood, so vivid or so real that I remember details. I remember going and parking and landing in my best friend's back garden, in a tiny little, like a spaceship for one. And where does that come from? And why do I remember it today like it was just yesterday? And I'm also talking to you from someone that does understand, consciousness and your mind, and how it can, really not play tricks on you, I guess. It just, it's pretty full on. I've had some, all right, I'll tell you this. I've had the most moving thing from spirit, source, whatever you want to call it, is one day I said to a girl, break my heart. And we're a connection of epic proportions. When you're fucking Lady Gaga over someone, there's a connection. It's of high energy, like, you know what I mean? You're with a partner, but it's fucking full on. There's a high energy. Energy doesn't lie. They're just the way they look at you. That's all you really need. It's a different type or level of connection. And I'm pissed off. And I'm hurt more than I've ever been hurt in my life. And I have a connection with spirit, and obviously to heal myself. We've developed, and as I have with Tara, Mother Nature, an energetic exchange, relationship, whatever you want to call it. And so this one night, I've had enough. I'm so hurt that it's physically just doing things to me. And I got angry. And I started using my manifesting techniques, which got me the greatest cure or the only cure of a human being in history of this planet. It got me things which makes me so grateful as the most privileged human being on the planet, knowing how many other people are sick with this thing. And so I thought, I'm angry and I wanted her to die. And so I started impressing on the creator of the universe that I wanted this person to die, get rid of them, it's too painful, I don't want to be part of this anymore, right? This is next level feeling sort of stuff. If you've fucking ever been crazy in love with someone where you just do the craziest, stupidest things and you don't know why or whatever, this is times that by 100. That's what this is. And I go to bed that night and fall asleep, and I'm in a dream and I'm in a car and there's some beeping from a car behind me, and it starts getting louder, and then I hear voices and this going on, and just remembering that I've asked, the creator of the universe has given me unbelievable things, that I just get rid of this fucking person. I'm in this dream. The noise gets louder and it gets to a point where it's so loud that it's vibrating all through my whole body. And it wasn't like I was a dream, it was like it was real. And it made me vibrate so much that I woke up inside the dream, but I was inside another dream. And it was so loud and so deafening, and my whole body was a frequency like vibration, and it wasn't pleasant, and I wanted it to go away. And then I woke up for the third time, and this time I was really awake, and I've never been so shaken, I've never been so moved. When I first healed myself and I asked for the help and to get everything that I did, when I did it on the day 14, I had a love wash, another feeling which I've never experienced before, which is full on from spirit, which went all over my whole body. I call it a love wash. There's no other way to explain it. Other people have had and it's just the most blissful, the most unbelievable, just says to you, you are loved by the universe. It's the most beautiful expression of love I've ever felt in my whole entire life from anything. And then this is like the scariest thing that source, God, spirits, whatever, they as much as I've said in many posts, they're not they can't judge, they can't punish, they don't care, they love you unconditionally. The more that I try and communicate this, the further you go along and start understanding this stuff, the more it becomes a knowing, because you start using filters and go, yeah, you're right. Why would fucking create everything? And you just find out everything's just softer than it is of that stuff. And you find out that, even all these bad people, right? God doesn't just strike them down with lightning for what they've done, because that person might have killed 10 people. It is still the child of God. In an earlier podcast today with someone else, on someone else's podcast, I said that when I was talking about trans people, we were talking about Charlie Kirk and how I used to say that, you know, God has a plan for you and all the rest of that's bullshit. God loves you unconditionally just the way you are standing there right now. And if that's trans, then so be it. And it's the same for the person that is a mass murderer, killed people, pedophiles, you name it. The worst people in our societies, God loves them too, just as much. Source energy or whatever. It's an energy. It's not really an entity. God is not an entity, person, whatever. It's a field that runs through everything. You need to get the 3D indoctrinated fucking brainwashing out of your head and start realizing what life is really, and layers will come away and you will start living a life as you were meant to. You know, somewhere along the way, your life and what it was meant to be was hijacked so that someone else could steal everybody's dreams. And then other people started weighing in like bullies, and then it's just whoever can be the loudest, proudest, and egotistical or narcissistic to take your money and have power over you. So we hold all the cards. We can decide whether we want to be part of this or part of that, and it's up to each individual. But the energy itself of the universe, who I've had great dealings with, you know, I from the day one of me on a spiritual journey. Before that, I was an atheist all my whole entire life. But on day one, I was so angry that, and I said, look, I've read everything, I've done everything. I don't want to fucking deal with anyone but the top dog. And that's what I've sort of been dealing with in life. And later, you know, I've gone and, you know, asked people that are, you know, can get stuff from people or spirits or loved ones past and bits and pieces, and I talk to these people, and they're tapping into a field, right? These people have already that they're getting these things from have already reincarnated back onto Earth. The soul is such a complex, multi-dimensional part of ourselves that has no way it can be understood with the 3D linear mind right here and right now. And so there's a lot going on, right? and that is, you don't know what you don't know. There's so much more to come to finish this picture. So yeah, that's all I wanted to get on and just share that with you. So thanks for listening.